Hi, I'm Niveditha.indrajit and I'm in conversation with Sharad Jagtiani. And this
Hi.
man, hi, and this man I met 4 months ago online on YouTube watching your song, which is one of my favorites. And I want to know about you as a child. We'll start
Okay,
from.
so yeah, so I used to like music as a child, but I was actually surprisingly very shy because when people meet me now, they're like, "I we can't imagine you shy because you just go and talk to anybody." But I was an introvert and I was shy. I had two best friends, and one thing that I think I'd like to do was express myself on stage. So I would end up participating in singing and reading the news and so I was fond of that. Maybe some part of me wanted appreciation, be recognized or whatever. But I would really enjoy singing primarily. So yeah, and when I moved to Bombay, I was doing a celebrity manage. I was running a celebrity management company, and when I
Okay.
moved here, my friend said that while the company wasn't doing too well, my business sense is a little poor. It was. I don't know now, but I was training to be a singer and all. But my friends who were also actors, they said that why don't you also start auditioning for ad films? And very soon I got a few breaks and I started doing quite well in that. So I did Kellogg's and Cutie Cura and Dettol and a lot of ads.
Yeah.
And simultaneously, I was pursuing music, but then I had a little problem with my throat, so I had to kind of
Take a break
focus
for a
more on
while.
my acting. Yeah.
Okay.
Much later, I started my YouTube channel and I started releasing some songs, and
Okay.
so I tried to balance acting, singing both.
So when you were a kid, like, did you plan on all this, or do you think that the inner part of you just came out? It's a different journey that you took.
You know, so when you're in Delhi and you're very fascinated by Bollywood, and I used to love Amir Khan and Madhuri Dixit, and I would be like, "Mujhe inse milna hai," and we were. My favorite movie was Kayamat se Kayamat Tak, and I had I'd learned all the dialogues by heart, and my friend Vikas, his school bus and my school bus used to be next to each other, and every day I would be like, cracking these dialogues. And this guy is so sweet. He's like actually listening to the same dialogue every day. And he's like, So I realized I had this filmy kida.
Oh,
And I think that came out much later in life where I said, oh yeah, I want to act. I was doing engineering. And again, engineering was very boring for me. And I used to go and sing a lot on stage and I would anchor the show and everything. So I think I started enjoying the creative aspect of what was within, and but I wasn't sure acting or singing or anchoring, and I used to think one has to choose one. At that time.
hmm.
Now, of course, I say let's do everything. Let's
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
What my observation has been is that a lot of engineering students or engineering graduates really move into two, three multiple careers eventually. And I
Yeah.
feel that engineering is like a foundation for the inner engineering to stand
Wow.
out.
Nice.
So I
I
feel,
think a lot of kids also choose careers based on what their parents want, and they want parents want stability, so they want the kids to be or maybe they are engineers themselves or doctors themselves, and they want their child to follow in their footsteps. And I think that we need to change that kind of choice now.
yeah.
I mean, and parents now are like that, at our times. And I'm
And
not
there are
saying there's
more
anything wrong.
options also now.
There are more options, but I think parents see. I mean, I'm not saying my parents, of course, gave us the best of what they could, But at that time, their understanding also was limited. They were also coming from a sense of security, and they were trying to transmit that on their kids also. So, which is fine, But I think nowadays kids have more options. Their parents are a little more cool. Some of them still put their goals onto
Yeah.
their children,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I think nowadays, even the school and the education system is also changing that you can, like, my son goes to a school where he can actually pick what subjects, and they don't have a curriculum that the child has to fit into.
Yeah.
The curriculum actually fits into what the child requires or child would like to explore. So I think
Wow.
the world is
I
changing.
would want to be a child again.
Yeah, whenever I see his activities, off late it's been online. So whenever I see his activities, I like, oh wow, this is so nice.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what was the best part of your growing up years?
Okay, I have these two best friends. We were just I was chatting with them day before, and really sweet and innocent. And I think that innocence was something that I really cherish, because I think till the time we were in modern school Delhi, and it's modern school is known for its bad boy reputation. Of course, there
Okay.
are some wonderful people from there. Bad boy, not in a bad sense, but in a sense of everybody's like cool and they're partying and really fun people. But I think in school I had that sense of innocence, and we would laugh on very silly things, and we would just like be pulling each other's leg, and which I still do. But I still have that innocence intact, and I find complicated stuff very difficult. Sometimes I'm
Yeah.
like, let's keep everything simple, let's be straightforward, let's be funny, and let's be fun. So I think that aspect from school, which was me and my two best friends, I've still carried forward even till now, and that's what I love about my childhood.
Okay. And what do you like about the today you?
Lots of things. The interview might go pretty long.
Yeah, sure.
No, so to put it in a condensed form, I think I like the fact that I can speak my mind out, and I can be truthful to people, and at the same time, I think I can put humor in it sometimes. Sometimes I'm a little harsh, so I think I'm working on that. I think the most important thing which I feel now is that I do realize where I stand, and I can work on it. So not nobody has to be perfect, but to realize who you are right now and keep working on it. So that's what I like about myself right now.
Okay. So there is this whole conversation that is going on, the inner work and working on ourselves and self discovery, and there's also a lot of aspect in terms of, okay, what is the kind of career or life you'd like, which is acceptable to people, and then there is this whole genre that, like, I can associate with what you're telling, like I do so many things. You're the jack of all arts or master of all arts. I can associate with that, and there is this possibility that is there where we can actually explore and don't have to fit into that genre of you have to do one thing. How do you feel that one can really let ourselves go and explore the whole aspects that we can look at? Like, you like singing, you like doing a lot of other things. So if you were to give 5 things or 10 things or even 20, how would you go about on a daily basis?
For me, I like to have one thing secure and experiment with the other. That's all. I've always done that. So,
Okay.
for example, when in between I was doing a lot of ads, and I quite enjoy ads, but not as much as I enjoy singing. But I
Okay.
realized that ads, I was getting good work, and so I said, let's keep doing that. Let's get the money from there, and let's put that money in the videos, my music videos that I make for YouTube, and the song production and all that. So I feel that if you have multiple professions, then maybe one can be your, if you want to do a transition, you can have one going for you, and then you can transition into the other, because then the money comes in. That's like a safe way of doing it. But that's
Yeah.
kind of sometimes that's a negative also, because you don't end up leaving that at all. So
Yeah.
some people can just take the jump, but
Hmm.
I never took the jump. I used to also, I used to enjoy acting also. So it's not like so what is coming, let it come, and then also do what you like to do. That's what my take is.
And if someone finds this video and this conversation, and if they would like to get in touch with you for something about what work do you do, what are the kinds of things that people can approach you for?
Yeah, so of course we met through Access Consciousness, and that's the work we do. I love Access Consciousness. It's wonderful to have a way of life which is light and fun and easy. Not easy, but to put ease in whatever situation you're in. So that's something that I was teaching. I'm still teaching and doing sessions. And of course, I just recently did a life coaching course online to get method into the madness, because sometimes as healers we can go like anywhere, and
Yeah.
sometimes certain people who have use their logical mind a lot, we can just break it up very with proper logical steps for them, where they decide, but we kind of ask them those questions which can get them in a kind of a direction. So I recently did that. I've been doing sessions online, and so let's see where it goes, like with singing, acting, life coaching, access consciousness. I'm actually making some modules now online. Let's see where that goes. Going with the flow.
Okay. If I were to ask you, let's say there are like 5 crazy things you never imagined that you'll do.
That I
Okay.
would never do. That I
you'll
would never do.
But if you had to do it, what would those crazy things be?
So when I was watching Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, and I realized that all these guys had one fear of, one guy couldn't go underwater, one guy couldn't jump off a plane, and the third guy was like, wo bulls ke samne bhagna and all. And I realized I had all the fears. Whether it's bungee jumping, whether it's mountain climbing, I think basically my friends would always say, "Tu bahut fattu hai, jungle mein nahi jayega, ye nahi karega." Everything needs to be like 5-star mein jao aur bislari ka pani piyo. So those are some things that I'd like to break, because they also come from certain fears that I have, and I always felt that it's okay to not do it. It's not such a fear that's not kind of coming in the way of anything that I'm doing, But I would love to explore, be more adventurous, I feel.
Okay. So what I also meant was Sharad Jagtiani will never do this. Those are the 5 things. He will never do this.
Okay, I probably would never do, drugs like cocaine and all. I would probably not, break somebody's trust. I would probably not. What else will I not do? Smoke. I don't enjoy smoking. Not that I've not tried it. Smoking and cheating people is something I find very boring. I'm like, why do you have to cheat anyone when you can make your own money? So I think yeah. And what's the 5th thing? Is uh, he'll never be quiet in a in a room full of people. I'm not a good observer. I'm not a good listener. I'm like, just keep on talking and cracking jokes and also maybe I would never. Sometimes I do be quiet also, but I mean, mostly I'm like.
Okay. So if there were 3 things that you would say, okay, these are the 3 things that I do on a regular basis which help me be me. What are the 3 things?
Help me?
Be me. Like those are the things that you do which make you be you more in a day.
Currently, in the lockdown, it's jhadu pocha, bartan.
That is being you? Wow. How does it get any better than that?
But in general, if you're asking, then I think listening to something motivational is something that I enjoy, because my mind can easily go in, the negative aspects of what is going on. So I need someone to just tell me that, okay, this is a way to also look at things. Another thing I like doing is listening to music or doing my riyaz. That really makes me understand that, okay, the music is my thing. And what else do I do? I like to interact with someone in the day, which I can feel that the conversation was fun or interesting. Like right now, having this conversation, it's really exciting. I like 10 minutes before this conversation, I might have been in this not that great a mood. Maybe sometimes you're not, but when you talk to someone and you really connect, like even though this is, say we're doing this on Zoom, but I could feel the connect, So there's this like almost like bearing your life out for someone else, and it's such a beautiful connect. So this is something that makes me.
Oh, wow. Thank you. So what else? What else can I ask you that you've never been asked before?
You can ask me what pisses me off.
Yeah, what pisses you off?
Okay, sometimes what pisses me off is that some very basic things, like like kindness. You know, you can say the same thing to somebody in a better way. You know, and people jumping to conclusions and people generalizing. Like, you know, I read a lot of things, and I've stopped doing that now on Facebook or on Instagram or Twitter, and people just generalize. They say actors are like this, or they say that, you know, star kids are like this, and their generalizing is a very it's a lazy man's way of living his life. It's a very rude, and you know, it's inconsiderate to generalize, because you haven't met all those people. You know, if you have met only one or two of those people, and or you have a kind of an image of those people, so it's having done no research on anything and passing a statement. So I get pissed off when people don't want to make the effort in anything in life. Like, whether you want to do anything, there has to be an effort. And I, you know, I sometimes don't make an effort. I, you know, feel that I'll shoot this video, and then I'm like, kal karte, parso karte. So I'm also saying that even I do that. But people need to make that effort before they say anything or do anything, like, you know, even to achieve something, or before they're saying anything online or offline, they need to have their facts in place. You know, they need to do some research. So that kind of pisses me off. But again, I'm going to bring that back to myself. What do I learn from this? Maybe I'm also doing it, so maybe I can change that.
Yeah. So, do you think somewhere the art of conversation? I mean, see, when you meet people for the first time, you say, okay, I've had these conversations where people will meet, and these are the standard questions people ask. What is your name? Where do you work? What do your parents do? You married? Do you have kids? I mean, there is so much more conversation than I think getting into the personal details of it. There is a difference between getting into the personal life of a person and getting to know the person. Do you think somewhere that getting to know the person is lost in trying to find more information about the person in this whole process?
So I generally meet people very differently. You know, because what you shared was like, when you were sharing it also, I was like, you know, I can't have these conversations, because
Yeah.
what I generally do is, maybe that's why humor is a mechanism, because I already start cracking jokes on people, which sometimes doesn't work, because, you know, sometimes people have their defenses up, you know. So you know, and I don't crack insensitive jokes, but you never know what kind of state of mind that person is in. But I generally start off with lighter stuff, and, you know, whatever. But because this thing of what do you do and how many children do you have, and how much do you earn, maybe it's never worked for me, because I don't have children and I don't have a monthly income. So I always have to have a more fun conversation, a more interesting conversation with people, and that's why sometimes I take the lead in the conversation. But that's what sometimes makes me not a good listener, because I'm so busy taking that lead in order in order that the conversation does not get boring, that I don't allow the other person to talk. So thanks to you, I had the realization that, you know, it's okay if a conversation is a little boring sometimes. But yeah, I know what you're saying. A lot of judgments come in from these things. Like, when you're in a school group or college group, a lot of people are sharing, you know, how they're doing in comparison to each other.
Right.
And that's never the thing, no? It's we cannot compare our life with anyone. Everybody's unique, everybody's different, everybody's doing their best.
Yeah. From whatever awareness or whatever understanding they have, it can change in a period of time. Like today, we can have an opinion, and tomorrow it can change.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So, are you a science or an art person in your thinking?
I'm very
Like
art
there's
person.
a logic or there is illogical.
No, there's logic also. The engineering days actually, you know, kind of got me to be more in touch with my logical mind. And I do have logic in things, but the creative aspect where I'm, you know, visualizing and all. So I think it's a combo.
So what is your process of visualization? Like if you were to start composing a song or want to do a particular project, how do you go about it? Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me.
So, you know, I think I do have a logical mind when I did my engineering. So I think that also kind of made it more pronounced. And but again, since I'm an actor, singer, I create stuff, I write scripts, and also there's a lot of art to it, I feel. So I feel it's like a combination of art and science, less of commerce, because my finances have always been a little ki yaar koi aur kar le, and which is fine. I mean, someone else can do it, but I think it's a bit of art.
And how does this get included in your creative process?
So when I'm writing a
Become
script,
a
for example,
project. Yeah.
so there is most of the creation is artistic and stuff like that, but there'll also be a little logic, like little logical elements, so it helps. But sometimes what happens is the logical mind stops the creation if there's too much of logical mind. In my case, I'll be like, nahi, abhi nahi, baad mein karte hain, nahi, abhi to koi dekh nahi raha, abhi to koi views nahi aa rahe. So the logic can actually stop the creation. So it's a good idea for me to have more of my artistic mind and a little bit of logic rather than too much of the don't do it mind, no it's not worth it mind, and less of the artistic side. So thank you for this question. I think it's given me a realization of what I should do in future.
No, they do talk about art. Like when you talk about writers or artists, there is a block that people talk about.
Yeah.
Like बीच में एक writer's block आ गया. Yeah, it's like there's a block. I can't do that anymore. Like most people don't realize that they probably have changed so much that they don't no longer do the same thing. We are judging ourselves with, okay, I stopped doing what I used to do. Maybe we are doing something else. But what I'm asking is, from an artist perspective, like, do you encounter a space where it's like, oh, it's not going anywhere? And I'd like to do it, but it's not going anywhere.
I think the block comes with pressure and deadlines. And sometimes what happens is you are working on a particular idea and it's not coming across the way you have imagined it. You're writing it down.
Yeah.
And you're like, the way I am seeing it, visualizing it, it's not coming across. So it's a good idea to take a pause and say, let me do it tomorrow. Let me sleep over it. Let me maybe meditate or get my bars done or whatever. Just get out of that stress that I have to complete it. And obviously it can't happen when you have deadlines. But if it's like me, I'm saying, okay, I don't have to shoot the video today. I can shoot it tomorrow. So I'll rewrite the script and I'll be like, okay, it's still not coming. But I will never go into the thing it's a block. I'll say, okay, it's not fantastic. Let me rework on it. I think to think that you have a block also is a block. It's actually more a mental thing where you're putting too much pressure on yourself. That's what I feel. Yeah. All creativity should flow.
And when it doesn't, you just do something else.
Yeah, like do something else and come back to it.
Yeah.
And of course, when you have deadlines, you can't do it. Then you get pressurized and you say, I have a block. So then you remove the block.
So how much is a physical activity, like having a physical activity every day? Do you think it's a contribution to this process, or?
Yeah, I think
it's
in
just
any
a personal
case,
choice.
In any case, I think being an actor and having so many friends who are actors and they're always talking about fitness and how you look. I don't really care about how you look. I do a bit. But I think fitness is something that then again, you do it because everyone's doing it and it's a good thing. So I feel that if you're picking up a good thing from someone for whatever reason, that's good. Because anyway, when you're exercising, you are releasing the feel-good chemicals in your brain. And it doesn't need to be like, oh, I'll make a six-pack chahiye and all that. It needs to be just like, okay, just do something that makes stretch your body or, do yoga or just do skipping or whatever. So yes, it does help. It kind of gets you in that zone of, okay, let's do something today. Otherwise you can end up being lazy if you don't have a deadline of anything at all. You can end up being like, for me, I sometimes I'm like, aaj nahi yaar, yesterday it rained, so abhi thoda aaram karte hain. But again, next day there'll be something ki aaj to ye ho gaya, so let's kal karte hain. So I'm saying deadlines can give pressure, but not having any deadline can actually make a person very lazy.
So there was something that I read recently that, if you, like, for example, somebody wants to walk 2 kilometers a day or 4 kilometers a day. So they say that first just wake up and go to your shoes and look at your shoes. They say just wear them and sit with them for some time the next day.
Wow.
Wear them and walk them in the house. It's just that, there is that little bit of thing that, okay, I'll do it later, right? Instead of that, just do just wear them and say, okay, or just talk to your
Yeah,
shoes.
yeah.
So apparently, if you do this for 20, 21 days, you will naturally let all this stuff go. And
Wow,
that has helped me.
that's fantastic.
And I have another question. I'm going to go back to the video that actually connected me and you to have this conversation. You know, there was a lot of water, there's a lot of nature, there's a lot of quiet, there's a lot of stillness, there's a lot of space. That is my perception of not just the song, but the connection to the elements. How and what? I mean, how connected are you, and which part of it? Like, do you connect more to water? Do you connect more to air? Like, I know that we all interact with everything, but what is your, deepest connection among all these? Which makes you more? I don't know
With
the
nature,
word.
you're talking about nature?
Yeah, like in that video, there was you sitting by the pool, water, or you sitting walking in the garden, earth, or just sitting and being the space. Which one do you connect to more? I mean,
Yeah, I think the other day also I went down to buy vegetables. Once a week we're going down to buy vegetables. The vegetable van comes and everybody's waiting in line, and I just went and removed my chappal and I stood on the grass. And I was like, I just want to feel one with the earth, and so I think that is very beautiful to just sit on the grass and just chill. And of course, water has its beauty, but I think just sitting on the ground and just feeling the earth, and that's something that is a oneness that I really enjoy. I haven't done much of it in these last few days, but I think it's a good idea to go down and just sit and just feel one with nature.
like I am partial to water. Like I know we live on the land and we are land
Huh,
creatures, but I love the
huh.
water. So which is why I asked you the question.
Wow,
Um,
nice.
for me, that whole thing about just being with yourself and being that space and being able to connect and just it's like gathering many parts of you which we neglect on a day-to-day
Yeah.
basis. So I just wanted to know that.
In fact, a lot has changed in this lockdown, because earlier I used to have crows coming to my window, and I would get irritated. Because I was like, yeah, subah subah utha diya, or whatever. Now I actually say hello to them, because I was like, so nice of them to come to my window and even be there with me. And why am I judging a crow by the way the sound it makes? It's saying hello. Maybe I should just say hello back, rather than saying ki iski awaaz aisi hai. The judgment has gone of a crow. So I feel that if I can stop judging a crow, then I can probably stop judging anybody.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Is there anything else that we have to speak about that I haven't asked you questions?
No, I just wanted to share that I love the fact that you're creating this right now, and in when sometimes we feel that, okay, what can I do? Everything's like locked down, or even when it's not locked down and you have this limited resources, or you say that what can I do, and then you give up. Like today, everyone's talking about actors' suicides,
Yeah.
and it's very sad if someone has to end their life because they are not really looking at all the possibilities of their life at that time, and they are probably projecting a lot of past into their future, or probably getting overwhelmed by the current scenario. So I always feel that always look at possibilities, and always it's that choice at that moment where you can really change it. You can talk to a friend, or you can just call up a counselor, or you can just watch a video, or you can just whatever, just call up your parents or anybody and just change that thought in that moment, and that is going to shape the way your future is going to be. So never give up. And
Never
I
giving
love
up.
the way you're creating this right now, because it's very easy to say that there's no point, or okay, and I'll do it later, and whatever. But to create in that very moment is what really shapes up your life. So even freelancers feeling all that the money issues and what will happen in future. The future, imagining the future in a negative way is not going to help your life. I think what you can do is really, like Niveditha is creating right now, something that you're enjoying this. You can see that you're
Yes, I
enjoying
enjoy
this.
these conversations.
Yeah. So everybody can create what they would like to create right now, and that is going to help us in future. If we can't create something, we can learn something. So
Yeah.
everything, all of that is going to help us create in future. I mean, shape our future.
Yeah. So I've never been really good at how are you, what's your day like, or what's your parents. I've never been good at that kind of a conversation. I was always inquisitive about, okay, how did this person shape up the way they do, and what are their choices like? I'm like, it's beautiful to watch. Like suddenly you're doing something and then you do something else, and what makes you make that choice, and be that inspiration for that moment. You don't have to be a Gandhi, or you don't have to be Mother Teresa
Yeah,
to inspire someone. We can just live our ordinary lives, and it can still be extraordinary.
absolutely.
That's the basis of this having this conversation. It's like everyday life, everybody is a hero in their life, and
Yes,
everybody is
yes.
the most valuable asset or person in their life, and they write their own history. It's not just like Mahabharata or Ramayana or any other story where victors write. They say that the victors write it. We are the victory in our story. We can never fail.
Absolutely. Wonderful, wonderful. In fact, I have a song on my YouTube channel. It's called Ehsas. And it's pretty relevant now because it's about this guy who's ditched by his girlfriend or something. And then he starts meditating, helping people, spending time with his friends. So, it's a lot of small joys of life sometimes that can really make your life beautiful. But sometimes we are only looking at that one thing that we want, and then we're getting disappointed when it's not happening the way it is. But how about adding all these small joys and making our life really beautiful? And then when you do that, you can also achieve that big goal that you have, because the thing that you've never given up
Yeah.
is going to really uh, come in handy in your life. So that big goal will also happen. But if you just keep saying, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this, then it's almost like you're crying over that, and then it doesn't happen. So
Yeah.
I'd like people to watch my song Ehsas. It's on my YouTube channel,
Yeah,
Sharad.
we'll give the backlinks in this description.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
So that, yeah. And thank you for this conversation. I wasn't sure whether I should bring it up or not. So thank you for bringing it up, actually, about mental health, about how one should actually look at ourselves for joy and making ourselves a hero. It's actually in sync with what I'm trying to create here and make you
Yeah.
the hero in your life. So, yeah, thank you so much for that.
Whatever we do, I think whatever we do, the first thing is to be happy. And
Yeah,
yeah, and if we don't define our role as the actor and the singer and the healer, but we say, okay, I'm a human being and I want to be happy, and then
yeah,
these are also my roles.
yeah,
So that really works. Otherwise, one defines oneself, and I say, like right now, I'm not acting. I'm getting some offers, but I'm right now not going on the set. But if I say, oh, I can't act now and all, I'm like, okay, I'm also an actor.
yeah,
Right now, I'm enjoying washing utensils. It's
yes,
okay. It's all
yes,
good.
yeah. Thank you for this conversation, Sharad.
Thank you, Nivedita. It was wonderful chatting with you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.